Hi everyone, welcome to this installment of the HSHSL PowerPoint Masterclass series. In this video, we're going to talk about adding YouTube videos to your PowerPoint presentations. We're going to take a look at what goes wrong when we typically do that and how we're going to make that better. So let's get started. Right now I have a PowerPoint loaded up on my screen. First, let's take a look at what normally happens, how we usually insert YouTube videos into our PowerPoint. So we go to Insert, and we go over to Video, and we're using online videos. So you have two options here. You can either search YouTube and go willy-nilly, or if you know the video you want, you can use the embed code. This is what I typically tell people to use. I have gone ahead and already pre-searched one of our HSHSL videos here. And to get that embed code, you would have your video loaded in YouTube, and you click on the share button that's in the bottom right hand corner here, and you get a whole bunch of options of where you want to share that video, and we want to embed it. So you choose embed. It's got the two brackets on it, and it gives you this whole bunch of gobbledygook, but there's a button down here for copy. So you go ahead and use that. Just click copy and it will copy it all to your clipboard. You can go back into PowerPoint and go ahead and paste. And I just click once into the box and I right click and I choose paste. And then I click on that arrow for insert. And when YouTube and PowerPoint feel like they want to talk, we get a video. So we can go ahead and size that and make sure it fits on our slide where we want it to fit and all that jazz. And let's go ahead and take a look and see what that looks like and how that acts. So if we go ahead and watch our slideshow, here's my normal welcome y'all, and here's my video. You'll note my video has just loaded on the slide. That's it. It's not playing, it's not doing anything. If I click somewhere on the slide, I go to the next slide, right? That's not what we want to have happen. So in order to play our video, I actually have to get a mouse out and go over and hit the actual play button. I'm sure this has happened to you more than once. Sorry, that's my own voice again. And then once you stop the video, you get all this other wonderful branding stuff from YouTube. Yeah. We don't necessarily want that for our shows, especially those of you who want to use the keyboard to control your things or want to use a remote clicker. You'd probably like to be able to just use the remote clicker to start your video with your slides. There is a way around it, and there is a way to do that, especially to do that using YouTube videos. So that's what I want to show you. So the way you do that is you have to put some special language into that embed code, that thing that we saw earlier. This is a list of 5 different parameters that you can put in. I use all 5 of these typically, and I'll show you what that looks like, and we can see what the difference is. But the first thing that I do is I put in an autoplay, which means as soon as the video loads from YouTube in my PowerPoint slide, it starts playing. I don't have to click on it. I don't have to press any arrows. It just starts when the slide loads, and that's exactly what we want. I also include this thing called modest branding, and it says modest branding equals 1. The 1 means I'm turning on the option. Modest branding gets rid of some of that extra YouTube-y looking stuff. It just makes your video a little bit cleaner on the slide and makes it look a little bit more professional. I also do the disable keyboard option, just in case you're using one of those clickers. The keyboard itself, if you need to advance your video before it's done playing, without that option there, keyboard controls will take over the video. And the right arrow, the forward arrow, is actually just to advance 10 seconds in a video. So it won't bring you to your next slide like you're expecting if a video is playing. It'll advance 10 seconds. Likewise, the back arrow won't take you to the previous slide. It'll just pull you back or rewind 10 seconds on the playing video. Not what you want, so I usually disable keyboard on the videos. I also turn off the controls so you don't have any of those buttons hiding anything. and I also set the related videos selection to turn that off. It used to be better. YouTube used to have other options where you didn't have to look at other videos that are not the one that you want to play. But now they force you to allow them to advertise other videos after the one that you've selected. Doing this, setting the relation to 0, turns it so that it will only advertise you videos that exist on the same channel as the one that you're playing, which at least puts it in the ballpark of being relevant. So yeah, these are the options that I always put in. And now I want to show you how I actually do that. So let's see how this actually works. Let's go ahead and go back to our browser. So here I am in YouTube. I've got my video open that I want to put onto my slide and show in my slideshow. I'm going to click on the share button that's down in the bottom right here. And then I'm going to click on embed. And it's going to give me that code again. This time we're going to make some changes to it. So you click on it once, it's going to highlight everything that's in there. Go ahead and press the back arrow, that's a left arrow key. It'll put your cursor at the front of the line there. And now just use your right arrow key and move your cursor all the way over. And you need to go to where it is in the quotes, where it has the web address for your video. So it's going to be, you're going to see source equals https://www.youtube.com/embed/ a whole bunch of string of numbers and letters. That's just the unique identifier for the video that you're loading. Everyone's will be different. But after that string of numbers and letters, but before the end of the quotes, you need to go ahead and start putting in all of those little modifiers that we just talked about. You start that off by putting in a question mark. Okay, that lets YouTube know and lets PowerPoint know that, hey, I want to play this, but with something a little bit different. I want to make it a little special. Okay, so you throw the question mark in there, and then you start putting in your codes. So we want to turn on a few things. We want to turn on autoplay. So you put autoplay equals 1, and then we want to add more to that. So we put an ampersand in there. So it's autoplay equals 1, ampersand, and we want to do modest branding. That's all one word. Modest branding equals 1, ampersand. And then we want to do disable keyboard. So it's disable KB equals 1. Because, yep, it's like sort of saying yes to a negative. Like, yes, we want you to disable it, so turn that on. Okay? And then we put another ampersand. And we want to do controls equals 0, because we want to turn off those buttons. We don't need to see them. We're auto-playing this after all. And then ampersand REL equals 0, because we don't want YouTube giving us videos for things that are unrelated to what we're displaying at the very least. It would be nice if they didn't display them at all, but hey, I guess they've got to monetize things somehow, right? So there we go. We've got all of our extras in there. We've got autoplay equals 1, modest branding equals 1, disable keyboard equals 1, controls equals 0, and relate REL equals 0. So once you have that in there, go ahead and click copy in the bottom right. It's going to highlight everything again, and it's going to copy that to your clipboard. Okay? So you go back to PowerPoint, and now we can go ahead and choose to insert our video. And we're doing an online video. And we're going to use our embed code. So you click once to put your cursor in there, and then you right click and you choose paste. And it puts everything in there. And go ahead and click the button for insert. And voila, we have our video put in. So you just size it how you want it, place it where you want it. And let's go ahead and take a look and see how this acts. I'm going to go back to my previous slide and start my slideshow there. And now, with these options all included into the embed code, this is what happens when you click on a slide. It loads, and it automatically
So
plays.
your professor's giving you the wrong size?
Nice, huh? And you'll note when I pause it or when I stop it, I don't get anything else. So in this case, I don't have any other videos in this channel. This is my own video. So there's nothing else showing up on the screen here. It's actually kind of clean and nice. Okay? Now, this is part 1. This is just getting it in your PowerPoint, getting it looking neat and clean. Actually using it, I typically do a couple other things. There's a few other steps that you should try. So once you get it in there on your slide, you have to think about how you're actually using your presentation. So if I'm doing this and I want to present this video for everybody to watch at once, I'm probably going to want to introduce the video. And it might not be, I may not want to introduce it while I have the previous slide displaying. So what I typically tell people to do is you make your slide with the video embedded in it. Go ahead and duplicate that. You do that, you just right-click on the slide in the thumbnail view and choose Duplicate Slide. And now, the one prior, go ahead and delete the video. Just click on it and delete it. So now you have a slide with nothing on it, and then a slide with your video actually on it. Okay? You can take this one step further, and I have done this as well. Duplicate that one more time, and on the end one, go ahead and delete the video again. So you have 2 slides that are duplicated and have just plain content on it, and then the one in the middle, you're making like a little video sandwich. But it lets you control when the video comes in and out of the same slide with a clicker, with it auto-playing from YouTube. So it's pretty slick. That's my method of inserting online videos. I should show you, and I have another slide here, there are other options that you can throw in there. So those 5 options that embed code, those are the 5 things that I just always throw in there. But there are other times that you're going to want some other things. For instance, if you have a particularly long video and you just want to play like the middle 2 minutes of it, you can specify where you want it to start and end. So you would throw in ampersand. I always list these with an ampersand, assuming that you're going to do the first one with autoplay. But you put a start equals and then a number. And that number that you're going to put in is the number of seconds from the original start of the video. Okay? So if I have a 20-minute video and I want to play 2 minutes at the 2-minute and 20-second mark, my start would be 140, and then I would put an ampersand end equals, and that would be end equals 260. And that would play me the middle 2 minutes, the middle 120 seconds. So yeah, a little bit of math that you get to do there. Just know that it's all relative to the original video 00 mark, and then you can specify whatever sections you want to have show up. Pretty useful for those long things that you just want a couple little sections of. There is also an IV load policy. Oddly enough, this one is IV load policy equals 3. It turns off some of the info overlay. I did not include that on my original one to show you. The policy changes from time to time in YouTube. YouTube's great about letting us know when they make their changes, but you have to know to look for them. So sometimes randomly these things don't work as expected. IV load policy is one of those that I think is on its way out because it doesn't seem to be doing very much these days when we try it. However, CC load policy does work very well. CC load policy equals 1 turns it on, and that will display the closed captioning for the video regardless of the player's settings. Some places, it depends on where you go. Maybe you're using somebody else's computer. That happens to be the case a lot of the times, I know for a lot of you. This way you override whatever their default settings are, and you can force closed captioning to appear in your videos that you're displaying. I know that's super important for some folks. Along with that, you can also specify what language gets played. There is a CC lang pref, and I put that there with two bangs. I put 2 exclamation points there. The way to turn that on, you need to choose the proper 2-letter ISO language code. You can look those up. I have them loaded on a browser window that I can share for you. There's a whole bunch of them here. I know offhand English is EN and Spanish is ES. So if you want your closed captioning to display in Spanish and have the audio be English, that can work just as well for you. I'm not sure. But hey, German is DE. Dutch is apparently NL. So yeah, there you go. And I believe that's everything that I wanted to show you about this. It takes a little bit of practice. It takes some getting used to. But it definitely beats having to stop your presentation mid-flow, track down a mouse, and click on a video to make it play. So this is all, mind you, everything for a online video. The rules completely change if you actually have a video file that you want to embed in your slideshow. There will be a separate video. I will make a separate tutorial just about that. You get a lot more control over it that way. And you don't have to do all these shenanigans. But for online videos, specifically for YouTube videos, this is probably your best way of getting about it. Alrighty? Thanks a lot for joining me.